with me, and he is my good friend. I've been rolling with him for a long time. I actually met him in the church house, believe it or not, and he was just one of those kind of guys you would see and go, he's definitely somebody to know. He's definitely somebody to know. And as my grandmother used to say, I found out later on that he is a big wheel. Okay. He is all about that dollar. He is all about his people. He shares, he teaches, he coaches, and he and I have been connected for many years now. I'd like to call him my friend, so I do. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring my friend on today, Mr. Ricky Gooch.
Hello, Cecelia. How are you?
I am
And
well,
thank
sir.
you.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for that great introduction. You and I have a lot of good history. There's one thing to have history with someone, but you and I have phenomenal history from the time we met at the church to all the different things that we've been engaged in. It's been almost 15 years. Can you
Oh
believe
my
it?
God.
It's been that long.
Time
It's been just about 15 years since we first met. We've done so much. The time just seems to go like in the wind.
yes, dear. In the winter is, and I wanted to tell them what you do, but you have so many things going on, and I didn't want. And when I saw this AI thing in the back, I'm saying, oh, he is this ornament. He's doing that now too. Oh my goodness, I need to learn more. I need to like go
That's right. That's right.
sit in his classroom for some of those sessions. Okay.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for the introduction. As you
Mhm,
mentioned, I am a business coach. I am
mhm,
retired from Hewlett Packard. I'm a retired executive from Hewlett Packard. But
mhm.
now, for the past 20 years, I've been a business coach. And one of my clients and I co-founded a business in artificial intelligence called AIX. And we
Uh-huh.
do artificial intelligence consulting for businesses, for large organizations. We have a couple of contracts now with certain county governments, and we do everything from things on your desk that you deal with the language models, how to use it to become more efficient, how to use it to solve problems, websites, and those things, to creating stuff in virtual reality, gaming,
Mm.
and those things, as well as the back office portion of it that handles the hardware and the servers. So it's one of those things. I said I co-founded it because I'm a coach. We founded this company, and Cecilia, I tell you, it's not been a year yet, and we have a seven-figure backlog of projects.
Oh wow.
So I had
That's
no
amazing.
idea that it was going to do that, and neither did my client. So I jumped in to help her out to get through this boom that we kind of discovered together. So I'm excited about that. But at the core of me, as you know, is finance and
Yep.
business, and you know I love real estate because you actually
Abs-
sold a couple of my properties during COVID for me
yes.
when we were going. Yes,
Absolutely. That's right. I did. I did. And so, I know that, and I could just pick out of a hat of subject matter topics to talk to you about, but because I had one that's near and dear to my heart, one that came to mind a couple weeks ago when we were talking about something that's like, oh, I know what they're going to talk about. I know. And so I wanted to talk about financial literacy. What
yes.
does that really mean to us as individuals, to those of us that are head of households, responsible for others, have to deal with parents, grandkids, because as you said, life happens, and all of that stuff comes into play when you start talking about money management and taking care
That's
and
right.
having a relationship with your money.
That's right. That's right. I really love what you said about having a relationship with your money. I had a very wealthy client one time, and he told me this, Cecilia. He says, Ricky, let me tell you something. He says, me and my money are friends. And he says, I
Mm.
love my friends. He says, and I need to know where they are and what they're doing at all times. So you are 100% right. A relationship with your money is a perfect way to stage that. So I'll
Mhm,
start off by saying this: financial literacy means different things to different peoples.
mhm,
So
mhm.
the first thing I'll say to everyone is this: make sure that you are operating from a vision of what you want your financial life to be. That's so important. If you don't have a vision as to where you want to wind up, you'll wind up wherever the circumstances take you. And that way, when you
Mhm.
have a vision, Cecilia, and you know this because I know that you're a very goal oriented person, and
Mhm.
things happen, and you're able to move around and shift without getting distracted from your overall vision. There will be
Mhm.
setbacks, there will be unexpected things that will happen. It'll take you off course for a minute. But if you don't have a vision, those things can really discourage you and cause you to create problems for yourself. But I want to talk to you, and I sent you some information that you can perhaps share with the rest of the folks later because we only have a half an hour. So, the
Yes.
financial literacy means that money and our lives have a life cycle,
Mhm.
right? So, believe it or not, most of us in this country, and this isn't something that I'm going to share with you that applies to everybody, and it could vary from person to person, but it gives you a standard to sort of gauge where you are. So, the first thing I'll say is I ask everyone to determine what type of person you are. Are you a
Mm.
person that thinks about you, that has a relationship with your money from day to day,
Mm.
week to week, month to month, year to year, or decade to decade? Now, if you
Mm.
say to me, I'm a day to day person, you know those people, Cecilia. Those people are people whom have kind of an hourly wage job and they're just looking to get through the day. If I can just get through the day, have enough to end the day, buy some food, then I'm okay. And we all know people like that, don't we? Right?
We do.
So their
Mhm.
their relationship with their money is day to day for any specific reason. And I'll tell you this, even though my life is very, very good right now, there have been times in my life when I've had a day-to-day relationship with my money. I didn't know where stuff was going to come from the next day. When you're younger, perhaps, and things are going on, something tragically happens, it can always shift to a day-to-day relationship. And then you have those people who have a week to week relationship. Maybe they have a job that pays them every week and they have enough money to get through the week,
Mhm.
right? And they're waiting for that next payday to come.
Yes.
And you've seen that too. People that have that kind of relationship with their money. So they're looking at stuff. They're not doing financial planning. They're not doing 401k plans. They're not doing anything like that. They're just looking to get through the week. Just get me to the end of the paycheck. And when I get paid, you hear people say stuff like this: when I get paid, I'll do this or I'll do that. Right?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
it's
Yes.
okay. All of us, if you think about it, if we're honest with ourselves and our history, there have been times in our lives when we've had a week to week relationship with our money. And then you have those other people who have a month to month relationship with their money. And that is, I have a salary, um, I have a mortgage, perhaps. I know at the end of the month or twice a month I'm going to get paid. So I'm not necessarily worried about the day to day stuff. I'm just worried about things that are going to happen in the month. I might even have a 401k plan, IRA. Perhaps I may even have, a couple of a home and some other things. And I'm living not from paycheck to paycheck. I'm living from month to month as I get a paycheck, and I have there's some
Bixby
savings,
voice privacy
some savings for my
Bixby voice privacy
for my
contents have been updated.
for my retirement, etc. But that's my relationship with my money, month to month. I might not have as much savings as I want, but I'm getting some. And watch this: there are people in this world who have
Mhm.
a year relationship with their money. You mentioned that about me. Those are people who own some businesses, own a home, probably own a few rental properties. They know that their month to month is taken care of every month, and they're looking out to see what's happening in the financial world. Meaning that what's the interest rate like? Can I borrow money for the next project that I'm going to have? What is how is it now in terms of, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to invest? I have a 401k. I have an IRA. I have real estate and other properties. What's the political climate like? Who's in office? And how is it going to impact what I'm able to do? How's the stock market doing? Those are questions those people ask, right?
Uh-huh.
Those are upper middle class folks, right? And then the last one I'll say to you is people who have a decade to decade relationship with their money. These are the people that you and I read about in terms of the top 5% of this country. Right? So they have enough accumulated wealth to not worry about day to day, not worry about month to month, not even year to year. They're looking at what are the trends that are happening now that I can invest in that are going to carry me and my family because I'm leaving an estate, I'm leaving a legacy into the next millennium. How can I take care of my children and my grandchildren because I have
Mm-hmm.
enough wealth to take care of me in this lifetime? What's going to be happening over the next 10 years, and how can I get involved in something that's going to accumulate wealth? For example, there are people who watch this whole technology thing. I use it as an example. This technology thing happened, and now AI is happening, and everybody's looking for which stocks to invest in. There are people out there now who are watching companies, have people hired, they're looking. It may not be big now, but in the next 10 years, this is the thing that's going to be happening. They set up investment groups and have conversations, etc. Let's talk about real estate. Right now, there is a crisis in the country in terms of affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have extra cash to invest over the next 10 years, how can I get in with some of the extra cash I have and help solve some of those problems? That's
They
what
can join
those
the
people.
summit, Rick.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so those are some of the types of basic things that help us with our financial literacy. Just knowing where we are and being honest. Do that honest assessment of ourselves and say, okay, right now I'm a month to month person. Well, right now I might be week to week. I got a situation going on and I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent next week. It's okay. Truth builds wealth, lies destroy it. And
Mm,
you start your wealth journey when you tell yourself the truth. Nobody else has to know, but you have to tell yourself the truth. And that's when you start building wealth. Even if you don't have a penny in your pocket right now, if you acknowledge that and walk past that, then money will come to you because truth and honesty attracts wealth as well as people that you work with. So lastly, now let's talk about literacy at different stages in life because
mhm,
as we progress through our life, our literacy needs to be adjusted. For
mm.
example, when you're early on, 18 to 25, you remember those days?
I
You're
do.
getting out of college, just going to school, you don't have much money, you're trying to find some income. That's 18 to 25, your early career stages. You are building a foundation. You're
Hmm.
building a foundation. You got to get income going. You got to get savings going. You might have to prioritize debts like student loans and some of those things. And here's one thing that we all should do: start a retirement plan.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Come to the summit.
Have you? There you go. Have you ever talked to an 18 or 25-year-old about retirement? They don't ever think they're going to get old, right?
That's right.
Right. And then most of us will start working for somebody else. Some of us start as an entrepreneur. If you work for someone else that has benefits, or hopefully you do, jump into those programs and get that match. Don't wait. Just jump into the program and get the match. You're in your 18, 25, you're building wealth. Then you move to another phase. So those things in that stage of life, your financial literacy is finding income, establishing savings, starting retirement, and keeping your income flowing, keeping your job. That's your literacy. You need to know nothing else. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
You got yourself paying your bills right now. You got your stuff laid for your future. At 25, that's about as much as you can take anyway. 25 to
mm,
35, right? Career advancement and home ownership. Some people own stuff earlier, but some people wait later. But somewhere in that range, you buy a property. Maybe you settle down and get a family, or maybe you just want to buy a property. Um, you have the income, you have the position, you're advancing in your career. You want to set up your 401k, your IRA, and those things are in place. And when you own your home, and you can attest to this, when you first get your home, map out a plan to pay that mortgage down early.
mhm,
And there's strategies which you can do that with. Adding a little bit of extra money onto the payment each month that equals the interest can be one strategy, or
mhm,
waiting for a windfall and making a payment on it. But if you do that when you're young, it'll bless you when you're 65.
mm.
Um, and then during that time, Cecilia, as you know, there's debt.
Yes.
No, debt. We start accumulating debt. We got the car, we got the Gucci bags, we got all those
Credit
different
cards.
credit cards. We live in
Whole bunch
large.
of things coming
That's
in this mailbox, man.
That's it. That's it. We're young, we're vibrant, and we're moving forward. We got a family. We want to do some stuff, So there's going to be a
Hmm.
little bit of debt, but just
Hmm.
be careful about the debt because the debt will come up and bite you later on at a time when it's most inconvenient. It's best to
Mm.
learn in terms of your financial literacy. Learn how to manage your debt. In the information I sent you that you can send to everybody, there's some videos about how to do that, how to start off, how to properly use debt. Because debt is not a bad thing. You just gotta know how to use it.
So, Rick, let me ask you this. All that you just said about this, the budgets that we create for ourselves. You was talking about money and that piece, but the budgets that need to be created and going back and revisiting those budgets. You talked about the people that work a 9 to 5. That's great. But let's talk about the business owners. How are they shifting and moving things around? And I specifically want to focus on real estate agents because real estate agents, we are commission we receive commission when we do and sell a house, either sell a house or help somebody buy a house. And so when you start looking at all that comes in and then the categories of the way the monies go out, your net income isn't as great as everyone thinks when they say, oh, real estate agent make a lot of money. But at the end of the day, we have to be zooming in on that in particular because
That's right.
we need to be in touch with our retirement. You know,
That's
I just
right.
did this morning that spoke about had I known what I know now about houses and flipping
Mhm.
real estate, I would have been buying a house and holding and getting passive
That's right.
income. So when we get to that magic number at 65 or whenever we want to retire, money is not an option. Money is not an issue.
Amen. That's a good point, and you make a good point. So with real estate agents and other people who work on commission, I worked in sales for many years successfully,
Mm-hmm.
but sales means you get commissions or you don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a concept called windfall management. That means that, say for example, you go for 6 months. You know how it is in real estate. You may go
Yes.
up 1 or 2 months and not sell anything.
Okay. How about
Well,
longer?
where's the that's right. So where's the money going to come from to take care of your day-to-day expenses? Now watch this. 6 months ago, you closed the deal or two that was equal to 1 year's salary. But because
Mm.
you weren't aware of where you were, you spent it.
Mm.
And so right. So to your point about budgets, when the windfall comes in, here's this is a
Mhm.
simple thing. Don't make this
Mm.
hard. Don't spend a thing.
Mm. Say it
When
again.
the wind because when the windfall comes in, when you get the big deal, you close the big deal, you got three, four hundred
Yeah.
thousand dollars in your pocket, or you can see, I'm gonna close these three, I'm gonna get enough, I'm gonna get now on these three deals, I'm gonna make more than most people make in a whole year.
Mm.
And when we do that, we start doing stuff, we start feeling it's emotional. But the right thing to
Mhm.
do, if I was coaching you financially, I said
Yes.
spend the minimum when the emotion is high. When you like, it's like Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go. When we go
When they
high.
go low, we go high. Yes.
So when the money goes high, you go low
Mm.
with your expense. When the money go high, you go low because the secret to wealth is keeping more than you spend.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
so don't let the emotion of the windfall get you in trouble, right?
Hmm.
It's
Yes.
delayed gratification. Now, you take that money and you amortize it over the next 6 months in your budget. Say, I made $100,000 now in this windfall. I cleared a hundred
Yes.
thousand.
Uh-huh.
My budget per month, say, is $5,000 a month for my mortgage, my this and my that, and my this and my food. This call it $5,000 a month.
Hmm.
So if I want to pay, I know I'm selling my sales cycle right now. It's about every 6 months I'm closing a big deal,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
Take that 100,000 and budget it out. 5,000. If you took 5,000 times 6 months, what is that? $30,000 of that money
Hmm.
should be put aside in a savings account or a CD or something, and you just draw from that money every month to pay your bills.
Mm. That's
That's
different than your
budgeting when you
checking
have
account.
That's exactly
That's
right.
different
Different than
than
your
your
checking.
church.
That's right. Now watch this.
Mm-hmm.
You take your dream vacation
Mm-hmm.
if you said, okay, I'm closing a deal there every 6 months. You know that real estate is cyclical. Sometimes it comes in, sometimes it doesn't. But if you so
Right.
happen to close a deal before then, now you're ahead. You with
Yes.
me? You
Mm-hmm.
already got your mortgage paid. You already got your bills paid because you put that $30,000 to the side, right? You already got your retirement and your 401k paid because when you had 100, you put 30 aside for 6 months to pay your bills, and you put the rest of it into your IRA, into your retirement account. And so you had, $10,000, $20,000 left just sitting there looking at you to take care of incidental stuff and emergencies that happen, right? And you get another windfall. And then you can go on vacation
Mm.
because you're going to take
Okay.
that windfall and you're going to amortize it over. So, say for example, if the first windfall you're able to cover yourself from January to June, and the second windfall you're able to cover yourself from June to December, your mortgage and your expenses are covered for the entire year. Your 401k and your investments that you have are already you already contribute to them. You paid your taxes, and you got another 10,000, another $20,000 left. That's excess.
Okay, so in thinking about that, Rick, especially for those of us that work full-time jobs, what about us putting this money into a 401k and these annuities and we're
Yes.
watching it go down, down, down? So I'm always about diversifying, making sure that you're putting you have multiple streams of income for one, but you're also putting money in different pockets, so if something goes a little low you can tap over here. But talk about that, because right now in this
Yes.
economy, that we're facing, and everybody's so concerned about election gonna be what election is. It always is. So let's not get caught up into what's gonna happen with your girl Kamala and old boy Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we need to be focusing on for ourselves and how we kind of shift and make some of this money go left and right so that we will continue to grow that. Because when I looked at my annuities, they were down, and I
Yeah.
got upset.
Exactly.
I got
You're
upset.
exactly right. You're exactly right. And so I'm gonna tell you something that I do. So this is the life I'm living, not the life I'm thinking about. You're exactly right. So having those basic things in place are important. But as you said, 401ks, IRAs, they go up and down with the stock market, they fluctuate, right? So you just
Yes,
want to put it there, leave it there, forget about it. And adjust it as you need to, but don't take it out if you don't unless you need to. You also can, if you have enough of it in there, you can leverage some of that. One of the best investments in the world. You can't get around this. It's real estate investment.
real
That's the
estate.
best. Real
Yes,
estate investment. Having a portfolio, having your house and equity built in there, having those other vehicles and helps with retirement. But what happens if you get to the end of that 401k thing, and just at the time you're getting ready to retire, the
there's no
market
money.
gets hit and you don't have
Yes,
enough to. I got clients I've had for 20 years. When the market crashed the last time, they called me up and said, "You got to help us with this problem. I just lost $75,000. I just lost this, that, and the other." So we have to diversify, and they have to get out and invest in some other things. And they did it from their
mhm,
401k account. You know how to. That's a process you can do. Taking some of that money you have there and invest it in there. But the most stable thing in this economy is ownership. Real estate is always a secure,
mhm.
good investment if you have a good
Yes,
team with you. Target properties to buy and sell it if you need cash, and buy and hold if you want to add to your income when you retire.
yes,
And
exactly.
you get tax deductions. So most of the portfolio, everybody that I coach always has real estate in their portfolio. It's important.
Hmm.
It's very
I like
important.
real
Now what
estate and some other things, right? The
real
diversification.
estate, there's real estate, there's gold, there's oil, there's all kinds of different things that are stable that you can invest in. But the number one
Hmm.
on the list is definitely real estate investment. You have to make a decision on which type you do, right? Are you going to buy and you looking to buy something and sell it? Do you want to, lend some money and have it just turn over in the next 3 months? But there are ways you can double your money, using real estate by lending, developers money for different stages of that whole process. And you
Yes,
get with a team, get with your agent, and find those deals and put your money in there. And then there are times when you want to buy and hold. You say, okay, I'm looking at my 401k, looking at my IRA, looking at those things, and it looks like when I'm 65, I got work time 82 because I took a hit the last time, and so you got to do something about it now. So if you have, say for example, if you got a couple $100,000, $300,000 sitting in the 401k right now, and just took a hit, right? An opportunity comes up in real estate, you take out 25,000, $30,000. That you take it out using a self-directed IRA because you don't have to pay taxes on it if you do that way. And that's a whole process. You can talk to your agent about that, or you can call me. And then you move toward investing in something that's going to pay you back returns. And the
Mm-hmm.
returns can go back into your self-directed IRA, and you don't pay taxes on it until you actually take it out of your IRA account. Your IRA
Mm-hmm.
can own the actual property. That's what most of my clients do. And that's along with
Yes.
the other investments that you get into. I highly recommend taking a look at your assets as you approach
Mhm.
65 to see which portion of it do you need to diversify into something tangible like real estate. But it's the best thing.
Absolutely.
You're right. And then your
Okay, Rick.
budget. And
Hmm.
then lastly, you make a budget. The last thing you made a point about budgets. So as you
Yes.
approach 50 and 65, sit down with someone, a financial planner, and do a post-retirement budget. When
Mm.
I retire, here's all my assets. How much money am I going to actually have to live on?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not enough to maintain your lifestyle, you got 10 years. If you're 50, you got 15 years to make an adjustment. So anybody over 50 should be, or 50 or more should be sitting down looking at, if I want to go at 65, what's the numbers? How much money I'm going to have? Here's this real estate, here's this 401k, here's this. Now tell me how much income I'm going to get. Oh, I thought I was going to get $10,000 a month,
Mhm.
but it looks like I'm
That's
only
right.
going to get five. So I can't retire at 65 at this point.
Mm. Got you there. I like it. I like it. So I have your information. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody has any questions that they want to pose to Mr. Gooch. We have about 5 minutes left. I like to start on time and I like to end on time because Mr. Gooch is a busy
Yeah.
man with many clients. And so I want to make sure that we are doing what we said we were going to do before we got on this call. Start and end on time. So I think for me, I've heard this and I recognize it, but I do like the post uh prior to retiring, sitting down and looking at all of the debts, the income, and those streams of income that you have so that you can look to see, realistically speaking, what am I able to take from these buckets, I call them, to live off
Right.
of and have and maintain the same type of lifestyle that I have right now. Because someone like me who's always traveling, always wanting to do this and do that, for me to retire and not have the monies to still travel and go and come as I please, that's not going to be a great retirement for me, Ricky. I'm,
That's
I'm
right.
gonna. I'm just saying, and I definitely don't want to be a Miss Pratt as I teach in my class about people working all their lives, saving money, and especially if we have a two household income, and
Yeah.
one of those persons die, and they don't leave them the
Right.
cash, they leave them the debt. What do you do with that? Because that happened to one of my clients and it was devastating. She had to go back to work.
Yeah.
Miss Pratt, I talk about it all the time. And
Yeah.
anybody that ever heard me speak, I will be talking about it at the summit too. I'm gonna just tell you that because it's real talk, as they say. Miss Pratt goes back to work.
Yeah.
She's over 70. And what type of life, recreation, leisure time, relaxation,
Yeah.
spending time with loved ones. If you have to go back to work, how do nobody wants to do that. Once
Yeah.
you work all your life, 30 plus years or whatever it is, I don't want to have to go back to work. If I want to work,
Right.
it's because I want to work, not because I have to work.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
saying that to people and I'm drilling it in their head because, like I said, I did a video this morning. Had I known, back in the day when I was so happy to see my fat bank account, but then you start doing things, the money's gone. What about those real estate, the houses that I had that I flipped, I could have held on to? And that's
That's
why
right.
this
That's right.
development thing that we're doing is so important. I'm gonna drive that home
Important.
at this summit. I'm
Yeah.
gonna drive that home, Ricky,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
affordable housing, or as they say, workforce housing. It's everything. And we're going to have to
Yes.
be sitting at the
Yes.
table to make sure this happens for us. Because
For everybody.
I didn't get that
Right.
opportunity, Rick.
And the last thing I'll say to you, please don't leave this out. You know, I own an insurance company also. And so
Yes.
insurance policies are great sources of income. If you
Mm-hmm.
get the right type, if you get a permanent policy, a whole life policy, or an IUL policy, it's best to get those early because you also can use that money tax free to make investments when you fall short on your income
Yes.
requirements.
Okay, that's good, Rick. I have your contact information. If you want to shoot out your phone number real quick, you can. They're
Absolutely.
asking about what is a good age or a time frame to conduct the pre-retirement assessment, Rick.
Right. In your late 40s, early or before you're 50 years old. It should be part of your 50th birthday celebration. Should be sit down and think
Mm-hmm.
about what you have because you have 15 years to make a correction,
Mm-hmm.
and that's normally
Okay.
enough time.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
If, if
Rick, your phone number, contact information.
Yep, sure. You want me to give it to you now
Yes,
or
please.
put it on,
Just
let's see.
you can put it on the
Okay,
screen, or just give it to us, and I can. Whoever has wants to follow up, we can do that as well.
it sounds good. All right, then I'll
Okay.
put it on the screen here. I'm trying to figure out where to put it at. This is my first time on this.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. We will.
Right here.
You do you have it? We will
Yeah, I have it.
make sure that anybody that's interested in it gets it, so that they can do a follow up call. And you will be at the summit. You will be at the summit
I'll be at
on
the summit.
October the 5th through, well, it's the 3rd through the 6th, but the summit in real estate investing summit is actually on the 5th. And I'm bringing in all the heavy hitters. The developers are here, the architects are here, the engineers, everyone's at Ricky Gooch, the insurance and the coach and the money man will be in the house. So I'm super excited. So if you guys have not seen the flyer or saw anything, any post on Facebook, please look out for it, because you need to get your ticket, because it is going to be an amazing event. And we're going to start talking about how we're going to start sitting at the table and bringing us into the room so that we can win in this deal. So, Ricky, I got to go, man. I love you,
That's
man.
it. That's
Thank
it.
you so much. I'll
Appreciate
be
you. Love you too.
I will be in touch with you, bro, and I'll see you at the summit.
All right. See you at the
Because
summit. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in October.
we will. God bless you. Bye for now.
Bye bye.